Hello, everybody. Hello. This is the biggest news day of the year.
Should I use my water bottle as a microphone?
Yes, please.
Hello. World of Tolkien fans. Hello, world of Tolkien fans. We have a big news day. You are here at theonering.net. It's time for a very brief station identification. This is Torn Tuesday, our wonderful ongoing Tuesday live stream, which is now over 7 years old.
Over 7 years old.
We're in our 8th year come this spring, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, my goodness.
And, hey, guess what? Welcome to theonering.net. This is Justin.
That's Cliff.
Hello, we're here for you. And what is the news today, Mr. Justin?
We have the entire cast of Amazon's billion-dollar Lord of the Rings, and this is exciting. They just dropped the news today. We've had our researchers on all afternoon digging up everything we can on these folks, and boy, the more I learn, the more I'm excited.
And you're live with us. You're live on the interwebs. Of course, you're watching us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, and everybody in between. Welcome to the live show. Please interact with us. We can see you and we can talk with you.
Yeah, we've got the chat room, so if you hear anything, we want to hear your opinions on each of the actors as we go through them. We want to know who you think the character that they're playing will be based on actual Tolkien Legendarium characters. So the chat rooms
We're
are
also
wide.
going to debate whether, again, this is still an ongoing debate. It's not answered yet. If those names in the script of Tyra, Beldor, whatever they are they real characters or are they code names?
Code names.
To throw us off the scent for other lead personages in this vast canvas of amazing characters that appear in the Second Age of Middle-earth.
And if you're new to the show, Torn Tuesday is Torn. It's theonering.net.
It's not a reference to that old Natalie Imbruglia song from the 90s.
Australian. We're going to meet a bunch of new Australians today. That's right.
You know what? And I take my hat off to everyone in Australia, all the lives and the animals lost, and the horror and the nightmare. To you, brave people suffering under that, and to all the volunteer firefighters from around the world who have come to help them, our prayers and our blessings and our energy are all there with you. And I'm sure by the end of this broadcast, we will have a phone number or a website where you can donate to the Australian Red Cross to help out what's going on down there. Is phenomenally difficult for them.
Yes.
And yet, here we are with a not surprising blend of Kiwi and Aussie talent, along with other people from other regions of the world, now announced as part of this big collective cast announcement that was just made a couple of hours ago.
Just a couple of hours ago.
On Twitter. I think it was maybe 3.5 hours ago. So thank you, Amazon, for launching the news on our big news day, so that we actually have a wonderful...
We have something to talk about.
Well, we always have something to talk about. But
That's
now we've got, wow, we have layers and layers of stuff to show you. Hello from Brazil. Hey,
hello, Brazil.
Nice to have you in the chat.
Fentany, I see you. I love your YouTube channel.
Hello, Coffee Guy.
Eruvandi, Eugenia,
Arowana,
there's Shannon White.
Hey.
I love to see all of you in the chat room. And if you're in Hollywood and you want to come see Kevin Smith's show, he's Mark Bernardin.
Mark Bernardin.
Bernardin is doing his show with, who's the special guest? Katie Sackhoff, Trisha Hellbegger, right? Helfer. Trisha Helfer. Yes. Katie Sackhoff. Supposedly they're on a show called, an independent show called Battlestar Galactica.
Have you heard of that little show? I've never heard of that.
I don't know. Dino Greg is here. Is that a big show? Yeah, he's giving us the little thing. So Cliff, and before we begin, shout out to Amazon.com.
Hey.
You are really watching. I know you're watching. Thank you. We love you.
Hello,
we
David.
Love you.
David from Columbus. And to a very special, dear friend of mine, that's Debbie. Debbie is my girl from high school in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Hey, how you doing there? Debbie, my friend, my dear friend from when we were kids. We grew up together. Hi, nice to have you here. And you know what? Believe it or not, my family, my stepmom, they're all going to wander into the chat room. So this is an interactive show.
Yes.
You guys can come and bring your comments and questions to us. Give us some love, and we're going to give you some love back. So now, let's begin.
Let's begin.
You've got a graphic here to show, don't you? What is this?
This is your cast. This is the cast of Lord of the Rings, $1 billion 5-season commitment. We've heard rumors of the budget is actually up north of $3 billion. Jeff Bezos' passion project. This is all in. This is ride or die Amazon Prime. This show has to succeed or Amazon is getting out of the TV biz. So this is your cast.
You think this show has to like?
Yes.
They have lots and lots and lots of other very successful shows. Do you really think that this is the ultimate linchpin?
Yes.
You think so?
I do think so. That's the rumors I hear.
Gosh.
That if they can't get this right, they can't get anything right. They win a bunch of awards for Miss Maisel and
the marvelous Mrs. Maisel is wonderful.
Is wonderful.
Yes.
And Fleabag. It's just spectacular.
Yeah, Fleabag is everyone's new favorite phenomenon.
But, you know, it's Amazon has been hiring Orlando Bloom for Carnival Row.
Yes.
Amazon's been hiring a bunch of Lord of the Rings related actors and producers and directors to flesh out their program because it's all in on Lord of the Rings. Let's take a look at Amazon's cast for Lord of the Rings.
Okay, there is Robert Aramayo. Now, someone in the live chat was saying, is that young guy from Game of Thrones, the one who looks like a young Sean Bean?
That's him.
Because he actually plays the young Sean Bean. He played
Ned Stark.
A younger Neddard Stark.
Yeah, in the flashback in season 6 and 7, I believe.
What a huge, important flashback.
Yeah.
It caused such a stir.
So
there he is.
He's basically, his biggest thing has been Game of Thrones, playing young Ned Stark.
Yes.
He replaces Will Poulter in the main role. This is the lead. This is the absolute lead main character of the show. Will Poulter was attached for several months. He had to leave the project. Robert Aramayo replaces him. He's a UK actor from Game of Thrones. And from what we hear, the main character is Elrond, a young Elrond.
This is the role that was originally to be played by Will Poulter. Or make sure that we have, oh, look, black sauce noodles, and everybody else is like, bye-bye stream. Refresh. Are you guys going to refresh? Are we back now? How does it look? It looks good. It looks great. Hi, it's nice to see you guys. Everything looks great. Everything tastes better with blue bonnet on it. And now I'm giving you ancient margarine commercials from the 1970s. I am dating myself. Badly. Well, nobody else will. Nobody else will date me, so I might as well date myself.
All right, everybody in the chat room is saying we're back.
We're back, yay, we're back.
So Robert Aramayo is the lead. Everyone that we've heard from says he is playing Elrond.
Okay.
He is a UK actor.
He still has that high cheekbone, Noldorin, elvish look about him. Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
He looks very elvish. Next person on the...
elvish? Don't you dare.
Half elven.
You just said he looks very Elvis.
Elvish.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't.
The next person is Owain Arthur. You've never seen this guy, even though he looks like someone that was in Saving Private Ryan.
He actually looks like he could be one of Thorin's dwarves. He would make an excellent dwarf, okay?
So this is a Welsh actor who's known for doing a lot of stage in England, in the UK.
You're welcome, Sarah. You're welcome,
He's got a big Welsh accent.
He does. Now, look at that name.
I'm probably saying his name wrong.
No, his name is Owain.
Owain? Is that how you say
it? Might be Owen.
A Welsh?
I have a funny feeling this is the Welsh spelling of what generally Americans recognize as O-W-E-N, Owen.
Owen.
But that might be Owen. It might be
Owen.
Yeah? All right.
Owen Arthur.
Fentany is asking, do we think he will play Elros as well as Elrond? Let's go back to the previous slide, okay? It is possible. We do not know yet because they are twin brothers. Maybe Robert Aramayo has the blessing and the strange good luck to play
two
both
actors
roles. Well, just like Daisy Ridley played evil Sith Rey.
That wasn't
as well
that
as
wasn't
she played
playing. That wasn't
herself.
That was a cameo.
But it was still her playing both characters.
No.
Yes,
it was playing one
it was
character.
Still
Are
her
you going to say that Ian
both.
Holm played 2 characters?
Best example? Oh God, here's a better example from JC, the owner of Scum and Villainy.
The 2 best examples are Nicolas Cage playing both brothers in Adaptation, and Armie Hammer in The Social Network playing both Winklevosses.
Yes.
Good. Great example. Robert Aramayo might... thank you, JC.
Well, here's the thing.
That's a great analogy. It just might be the 2 Winklevoss twins.
Here's the thing. I trust Will Poulter to play 2 characters that are completely different. I trust Will Poulter, but now that he's not on the show, does this guy have the chops to really physically embody 2 different spirits?
Maybe.
Of two different twins?
I loved Will Poulter as casting in this show. It was the one thing I was most excited about because as an actor, he is one to watch. And he has a pedigree. He's been in, C.S. Lewis Narnia films. He belongs in another Middle-earth Inklings story.
I'm gonna say it once here.
But here we go. Okay.
I'm just gonna say I still wanted the Sprouse twins for Elrond and
You
Elros.
did. You're such a Sprouse fan. Well, we're all Sprouse fans. Okay.
So, all right, we got Owen Arthur. We don't know who he's going to play. We don't know what race he's going to play, but he's Welsh.
Would you dare to speculate? Because
based on the accent, I don't know. Who would you speculate as?
Hello, John Fowler, and hello, Mythical One. Hello, Leah Marie Peterson. Yes, Leah, Elrond and Elros were twins. That's in Tolkien's stories. It was wait, now her question is very specific. What? Identical twins. Were they? She is kind of suggesting, perhaps, that Elrond and Elros were fraternal twins. Maybe, but
maybe.
Do you think Tolkien, in his attention to detail,
he didn't specify?
He would have mentioned that. I think he would have mentioned that.
Hey,
so if he
when
just says
when
they're
Tolkien
twins,
was writing this in the 40s, did we have an understanding of eugenics
to
the point where
we knew
the
difference? Yeah,
we did know the difference.
Everybody knew the difference between fraternal.
All right.
But I would say that Tolkien.
The next person that we got going on is
Tolkien says they're twins.
Nazanin Boniadi. She is an Iranian actress, which is really exciting.
She was. Do you know how good Hotel Mumbai was?
It's an amazing show.
That was a great movie.
Hotel Mumbai is amazing. Homeland
yes.
is one of the best shows. It's now off the air. I highly recommend watching Homeland. It is an incredible series.
Never seen it, but I do hear it's highly recommended.
Yes.
I will agree with Arowana that Owen looks like a dwarf. He really does look like a dwarf.
So
really
everyone is immediately saying in the chat room, Numenorian.
She could be Numenorian. And other people as well, yes. A lot of people in the chat, and I agree with everyone. She could be a Numenorian priestess working under Sauron, under Anatar. Or she could be one of the royal family of Numenorian bloodline. That could be really, really cool. Wouldn't it be cool? Yes, everyone's
So
agreed.
let me ask you this, Cliff,
wait, maybe she's from Harad. Maybe she's from the far south. Maybe she Haradrim? I don't know.
No, I don't think Haradrim are in the show.
No.
Is this...
They might be. We don't know.
Celebrimbor?
Celebrimbor is a male.
Okay.
You're so silly.
Celebron?
You mean Celebrian?
Celebrian,
yeah,
yes.
Maybe she could be Celebrian.
Sorry.
She might be Celebrian. That's possible.
But she is definitely Numenorian, and I am so excited. I'm so excited that we've talked about early on that the race of Numenor, the land of Numenor, were based, the lineage of Aragorn is based on Eastern Mediterranean archetypes. The Greece,
Atlantis.
Right.
Yeah.
So the character
we've
been saying since day one the show was announced that look east, look towards some of these wonderful actors from that area of the world to establish Numenor, and I'm so excited. I'm pretty sure she's Numenorian. The next person that we have announced, Tom Budge. He's a television actor in Australia. He hasn't really done anything outside of Australia. He was in a show about Gallipoli.
Gallipoli was a really fantastic film from about 30 years ago, in the early 80s. Was it a very young... Was it a young Mel Gibson who was in it?
This is
very young Mel Gibson.
So
in that
this
movie,
was
Gallipoli.
a more recent
television.
Yeah,
show.
that's
right. That's
so
right.
Gallipoli
yes.
was, and then he's most recently in a TV show called Utopia. He's an Australian actor. So this is our first Australian actor of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Australians don't sound like they're Welsh, and they definitely don't sound like they're Farsi. So we have to expect that Australian accents will be another race of characters.
So all right, yeah, okay. When you had said Calabrian before for the earlier actress,
yes,
you do realize that Calabrian is the daughter of Galadriel.
Okay.
And is the wife.
I don't know the names.
Elrond.
That's why you're here.
You know that.
That's why you're here. I don't know.
Well, I would have put her as a Númenórean queen or a priestess.
Yes.
This guy, Tom Budge, let's put him up again.
Yes.
Let's put Tom Budge. Everyone is saying he could play Tom Bombadil. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, but guess what? Tom Bombadil is probably not even going to be in this show.
But he did exist in the Second Age.
What purpose would he serve in this show at all? This guy, Tom, looks like a man. A man,
Northman?
He might be a Northman, but you know what? He might be a man of. He might be a Númenórean, or he just might be a man of another kingdom.
Is this Ar-Pharazôn?
This guy?
Yes.
No, Ar-Pharazôn is actually Elros.
Okay.
And if that would, Ar-Pharazôn
Yeah.
was the last king, not the first. Excuse me, Ar-Pharazôn was the last king of Númenor. That's possible. That's just as possible as anything else.
He is not a Númenórean king. He doesn't look like a Númenórean
Actually,
king.
I was going to finish my thought.
Yes.
Tom Budge, put him up again. He looks like one of the other mortal men who maybe came into contact with Númenóreans when they were settling the coast. And they did come in and settle the coastline. They established settlements. They taught other men of Middle-earth agriculture, farming, irrigation, tools, woodcraft, ironcraft.
He looks like an agrarian race of men.
He might be one of the race of men who gets reached by the sudden arrival of the Númenóreans.
He looks like a farmer.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's just a peasant or a farmer. You never know.
He's a lead farmer.
Yeah.
All right, this is one of the biggest announcements. Morfydd Clark.
Oh yeah.
Is
I know we're saying her name wrong.
The second lead in the show. If Elrond is the first character, the second main character is Galadriel.
Yes.
This is Galadriel. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Is she currently in the new Netflix Dracula?
She's in the new Netflix Dracula, which you can watch right now on is it on ITV or BBC? It's on Netflix for sure, but our friends across the pond.
Okay.
He's also in His Dark Materials on HBO right now. She's amazing in it. Look up and watch His Dark Materials and watch Netflix's new Dracula show to see our Galadriel in action. Okay. And this is from last year. A magazine said, who are the two hottest up-and-coming talented actresses in Hollywood? There's a photo here with Morfydd Clark and Florence Pugh.
She does. Now, the question from Oscar Villa in the YouTube chat is, the question still is, will this TV series be film canon? And the answer immediately is no, because it's not using the original licensing deal that New Line Cinema made.
They have options to it.
They have different options.
They have options to
add lots and lots of other stuff. And we don't even know that they're using any existing, we don't know for sure, but we speculate that they have licensed old footage from New Line Cinema. And we don't know if they're using any of the costumes, architecture.
They have the rights to it.
They have the rights to it, but we don't know if they're using it.
Yes. The short answer is the original intent of Amazon is to have a show that bridges into Peter Jackson's cinematic world. So they have paid for the rights and the options.
File that under speculation.
Everything. Still, New Line. It's not speculation.
Even if they pay for that license,
how they won't use. If they use it, that's up to them. So
therefore, we cannot tell you honestly that this TV series is going to match film canon at all.
Yes.
Oscar, to be honest with you, sir, and thank you for joining our live chat. I love these questions when they come in from you folks. I honestly want to hold my breath and wait a little bit longer and say, it's starting to feel like Amazon is ready to break away and make their own, their own fingerprints on this world of Middle-earth.
Yes,
and make it different.
They still can while playing in the cinematic universe that was set up.
They
still can.
They might. So we don't know yet.
Shad in the chat room, Shad in the chat says,
"Hey Shad, how you doing,
just
Shad?
binged Dracula on Netflix. It's good. Only a few episodes."
Well, that also happened with Castlevania. Its first season only had
it's amazing.
a few episodes just to be a teaser.
All right.
To
who
get you in.
do we got next? This is an amazing actor, Ismael Cruz Cordova.
Oh, you could knock me over with a feather.
Oh, Cliff,
He's awesome. He's awesome.
He is in Ray Donovan and most recently Berlin Station with Richard Armitage, right?
But I'm saying, look.
So he's played with Richard Armitage, our own Thorin Oakenshield.
He's quite a capable actor. I've seen his work.
Yes.
And that's not the reason why I'm fawning over him entirely. But I've seen his work, and I think he's quite a capable actor. Just to be honest, guys.
He's capable.
Just to be honest.
Is he capable?
He's quite capable. But this fascinating now to see genuine ethnicities and other people of color within the casting range of Tolkien's Middle-earth. We have been talking about this for a couple of years now at other fan events and at major conventions, including San Diego Comic-Con and other events.
So having Nazanin, the Iranian actress, and Ismael Cordova from Puerto Rico. Ishmael.
It's Ishmael, yeah.
I'm so excited that Amazon, thank you for listening. This is so exciting to get some energy.
What kind of a role could he play?
Numenorian.
Oh, hey, now Erwana has suggested he could be a Harad king, a king of the Haradrim from the far distant lands. Super cool. Possible? Yes. Because within the story of Middle-earth, we know that the Numenorians had contact with very far distant kingdoms and developed big, complex geopolitical relationships with other kingdoms all across Middle-earth. Never touched upon in any adaptation of The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings, but it's in the books. It's real. That's really in Tolkien's history.
What?
So guess what? It's time to have some other people in Middle-earth besides all porcelain white characters representing the northern European location. Now, folks, we're going to other geographies of this world.
Eastern Mediterranean.
The world
inspired.
of Arda.
Yes.
Even in the Netflix series The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, they expanded this concept of having other ethnicities of the Gelflings by introducing 7 clans that were broadly around a much larger geographical area of the planet.
Hey, John Elliott in the chat room says...
very realistic. Great. It's great stuff.
John Elliott says, no American actors, please. They just don't fit this type of story. Unfortunately, Puerto Rican is American, so he is technically our first American actor.
Yes, that's right. He is.
Yes.
Yes, he is technically our first American
don't argue.
actor.
I would just argue
no.
that certain American actors do, like
Samwise was Sean Astin. Elijah, the main character, was... So our second American actress...
Viggo was an American actor, but of a different descent.
Danish. He's Danish-Argentinian. Emma...
Okay, he's Danish-Argentinian,
Emma Horvath is our next big actor to join the show. She is an American actress who's been in a bunch of horror movies, like The Gallows 2 that just came out a few months ago.
Hi, Spirited Book. Welcome to the live show. Good to have you here.
Share, Follow is another horror film from a couple years ago. She's really carved a niche out in
these little indie horror films.
These little indie horror films.
That's
she's
cool.
Amazing in them. As you can see, she's got a look that's kind of it's kind of like pop culture. Selena Gomez.
You know what?
A little bit.
I would think that this actress, Emma Horvath, is much more likely to be Elrond's wife, Celebrian.
Interesting.
Yeah, I get that vibe off of her. I really do.
This is Celebrian's.
We don't even know if we're going to have a point in Middle-earth where these characters actually are paraded out on stage. But if we are at that point in the narrative, it could be fantastic. Yes.
So you think she is playing a wife of a major character? What's the name of the character? Celebrian?
Celebrian.
Celebrian.
Yeah,
I always
Celebrian.
say that wrong.
Celebrian.
So.
Okay.
Oh, she gets
Yeah.
captured and tortured. Okay, I
by
can see
orcs
that.
of the Misty Mountains.
You know
and
what?
Then,
that makes sense.
And then she's not in the War of the Ring because at that point in time she had left Middle Earth and had taken a ship to Valinor.
And the interesting thing is that actress has played in horror films getting captured and tortured. So she has actual acting experience
That is not
playing playing the archetypes.
That's not what casting directors look for. Okay, hold on. That's funny. Wait a minute. To the live chat, Christina, my dear, Rohan did not exist at this point in time. This is thousands of years before before the Northmen, who would become the Eotheod, would go down and inhabit the area of Rohan, which would be much, much later given to them, bequeathed to them by Gondor. So no, there's no Rohan here. And remember, we're also looking for moments in the story where Third Age characters and narrative does not bleed into the Second Age because it's not supposed to be there. Hashtag fidelity to Tolkien, right? Right.
It's
right.
before Numenor fell.
Right.
So we don't know that. Okay. So John Elliott says, I don't have a problem with American actors. Some great actors over the years. I just feel like I've seen many medieval historical type films, and Americans just don't fit for me. You know what? I'll partially agree with that, and let's move on to the next.
Hold on. To Alexandra, no, there is no filming happening in Canada. Sorry. No Canadian filming. It's all happening in the Auckland, New Zealand
This was the first
area.
person that was announced to be attached to Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah. We had a very big thread about Markella. Yeah, she was in Romper Stomper, which was a television series based upon the very, very early 90s indie feature film starring a young Russell Crowe. So she's in the... Yeah, that was his breakout film, indeed.
So she was the first announcement. She's an Australian actor. Again, this is our second Australian actor announced as part of this cast, which makes me think that they've chosen a certain race of characters to be represented by the Australian accent, maybe? I know that was they were conscious of accents on Lord of the Rings. Yeah, there have been a couple people.
We've identified who is Welsh.
There's been a couple people that the main actor's Welsh that's playing Elrond. No, the other guy.
The other guy, Owen Arthur, is
Tyra
Welsh.
is definitely a code word. What do you think her real character's name is? She looks young. She looks like she could play a teenage daughter of...
Their characters being cut out of whole cloth here? I wonder.
Australian accent is the accent of Arda?
Is an Australian accent... The accent of all of Middle Earth now has got to be Australian now, I guess. No, do you know, looking at who she is, she could be, indeed, maybe I'm wrong, but she could be Celebrian herself. But somebody in the live chat just said, nothing particularly bad happens to Celebrian in the Second Age. At all. But
that hasn't been written.
That hasn't been written yet. We don't know what they're going to create in this storyline.
Yes. All right, the next person is a huge, huge casting.
Oh,
Joseph
look,
Mall.
Uncle Benjen.
It's Uncle Benjen.
It's Uncle Benjen.
Wasn't he a zombie?
He was a half zombie.
He was a half zombie in Game of Thrones. He
was not entirely a White Walker.
He's from Oxford, UK, so he's born and raised in the land of Tolkien, and he is supposedly named Oren. But everyone, and they've called Oren, the producers of the show, Amazon, have said that Oren is the main bad guy. This is the bad guy of the show.
What if he's an agent of Sauron and not Sauron himself?
What if Sauron takes many forms? Is he a royal that gets turned? Is he Anatar visualized? Is he Sauron before he takes on other forms? No, he's the main bad guy, and everything we've heard is that the main bad guy is Sauron, and this is the story of the forging of the rings and the corruption of all of Middle-earth. So if this is the main bad guy, and his code word is Orin, it sounds like Sauron.
It does, but that would
It's-
be too obvious.
Okay. Amazon, I bless you, but it's got to be Sauron. This is Sauron. I'm going all in.
I like that idea that's coming from Kathy here. I also like the suggestion in the live chat. Thank you, Alex Todd. You're right there on this. What if he is one of the Númenóreans who becomes corrupted by Sauron and becomes a leader and commander in his forces as a black Númenórean, and he ends up becoming who we would see much later on as the mouth of Sauron? What if this guy is the mouth of Sauron, practicing his interest according to Sauron's agenda, aligning himself with Sauron? Maybe he is not Sauron, and they're going to surprise us and have someone else be Sauron a little bit later on.
Well, if he's a handsome man. You don't think that's Anatar? The mouth of Sauron. Look, if they're gonna do the precursor to the mouth of Sauron, they might as well get the same actor who has been in Mad Max and Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. A very accomplished actor,
Bruce Spence.
Bruce Spence.
Yeah,
he is a fan favorite.
Yeah.
If you're gonna cast the early mouth of Sauron before he's corrupted,
Let Bruce Spence do it.
Let Bruce Spence do it.
I'd be
okay
down for
with
that. I'm down for that if he's willing to do it. But we could see some of these characters in the Second Age having these early relationships with power players that become significant to the Third Age later on. That could be quite intriguing.
Yes. The next person we have is Tyro Muhafidin. I know I'm saying that wrong. He is from Perth, Australia, and there's nothing else in Western Australia except Perth. There's literally nothing. Kathy has been there. There is more, but Australia is burning, and there's nothing left. So there's nothing left on the Western.
Okay, this is funny. All right, in the live chat, someone follows up this question. Oscar, I do appreciate this. Oscar says, so again, if this TV series is not film canon, what prevents Amazon Studios from reaching to the Lord of the Rings events by the last season? Well, it's possible that they could, Oscar, but that is many, many, many thousands of years. And you cannot fit thousands of years of cohesive narrative into 5 seasons in such a simple way. And besides,
unless you're American Horror Story, and every season is a different era.
We understand that maybe they approach it that way, but their main interest right now is to be in the Second Age. And if they're just so far into the weeds with Númenor, and even before the establishment of Celebrimbor's relationship with the elves of Eregion, before the forging of the Rings of Power, then they're not going to even need the story to go into the Third Age to even get that far, because they got so much stuff to fill to the brim.
There's so much, and you know what? Tolkien explicitly wanted people to play in this world. He left the Second Age loose with notes so other people could fill in with the stories of the Second Age.
Hi, Leith. Hello, Leith Skilling.
So
it's good to have you here, Leith.
Cliff, what do you think?
It is.
What do you think this
Isn't it obvious?
character is going to be?
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. This young man, Tyro Muhafidin,
he looks Númenórean.
But he looks like he's about 11 years old.
He's young
10
Aragorn.
or 11 years old.
There's our young Aragorn.
But young Aragorn wouldn't appear until centuries later.
I'm just kidding.
Thank you. That's cute.
Who was the first son of the king of Númenor?
The first son of
Elros.
Of Elros?
Yes.
What was his name as the first king of Númenor? Tar Minatur? That's his name as the first king.
Chat room, help us out. Who is the first prince of Númenor?
Well, I'll just look it up.
The first prince of Númenor. This looks like a Númenorian.
No, he couldn't be a young Isildur, my friends. This could not be Isildur.
Isildur is Second Age.
Isildur did not live. Well, we don't know how to assume whether we're 2,700 years early or 2,700 years later in the format of where Númenorian history is presented. It is very unlikely this would be a young Isildur if they're going to the early phase story of how Numenor was developed and settled and how it all came to be. But then again, in these stories, they could do flashbacks, flash forwards, like that weird shit they did in The Witcher, where they keep doing all these incongruous flashbacks, and you're like, oh, is that...
Gothmog says
whatever.
he is Cleary Manwë.
Oh, yeah. Do you know, that would be interesting if the gods and goddesses of the Valar show up as children. That would be an interesting artistic choice.
Cliff, there you go. Why don't you read that?
One of those princes, Adrahil, fought under King Ondohur against the Wainriders. After the drowning of the elven king Amroth, Gondorians came to occupy it and named it Dol Amroth, after the king. The first prince of Dol Amroth was Galador, who, according to legend, was the son of Mithrelas, an elf maid. Beautiful. Thank you, Ryan, for finding that.
Is that the right time era that we're talking about?
The founding of Dol Amroth? It could happen. It depends upon, thank you, Sean, I appreciate that. It depends upon whether they begin their narrative at point X or Y or Z. Now, pause before we get to this. This is an important person, but before we get to that, do you guys understand what a large canvas of history we're looking at under the terms of this license?
Yes.
And therefore, how difficult it is for the writer's room to narrow it down to a place of functional narrative that gets people into it and gives them a canvas to go forward for 4 or 5 seasons. It's very difficult. Yeah, this is what we will be talking about in a few months at WonderCon, but I do not know if that young boy we just saw could be connected to that stage of settling the shores of inland Middle-earth.
He looks Numenorian.
He does look. He totally could be.
He looks like
a young Numenorian prince.
And, yeah, along with the Iranian actress. And speaking of,
that's right, Leith Skilling. The founding of Dol Amroth was in the Third Age.
Cliff,
I believe.
I've got an exciting member of the cast here, the second Iranian to join the cast Lord of the Rings.
Hey, Sophia.
Sophia Namveti is an Iranian African. She speaks fluent Farsi, and she is a Broadway-trained stage actress.
Fantastic.
And she has won so much acclaim, and she is multilingual, and she...
That's so cool.
This is our second Iranian actress. Oh, she can speak Elvish languages, and she can speak anything that the writers want to create. As we know, a lot of the Elvish that was sung in the Lord of the Rings films was from the hand of Philippa Boyens and Fran Walsh, not from the hand of Tolkien. So the writers of this show have much opportunity to create new dialogue in many of the dialects, and the languages. There's lots of languages, and so Sophia Namveti, I'm so excited. 2 Iranian actors.
That's so cool.
Cliff, we've been
That's very
talking
cool.
about this since day one.
We have, about having a certain feeling of otherness. And why not use a cultural otherness as a touchstone for the Numenorians to be distinct from the world that they're operating in, because they are the biggest interlopers in the history of the planet of Arda. They build ships, and they go around and colonize. And I feel like Shuri turning around and looking at Martin Freeman and saying, "Oh my God, you scared me, colonizer." Yeah, I totally. That's a moment. That's a moment. That's a moment I'll never forget.
If you say so.
It's a Black Panther moment I'll never forget. But, oh my God, you scared me, colonizer. All right, look. Who were the ones guilty of colonizing Middle-earth? And maybe the phrase should be changed. Maybe it's not guilty. But who are the ones responsible for colonizing Middle-earth? It was the Numenorians.
The Numenorians.
After the War of Wrath, and all of Beleriand sunk under the waves, after the flat Earth, literally, Tolkien changed the cosmology from flat Earth to a round Earth. And he took Valinor out of the sphere of existence of this world. When all this stuff happened, Arda was a new planet to be re-explored fresh, new, all over again. It's the Numenorians who represent that element of the story. They colonize everything. They influence everybody. At first, They arrive in the
Cliff,
story.
does this look
being
like a queen?
Benevolent. At first, they arrive being benevolent.
Queen
they
of-
teach people how to irrigate, farm, make better tools, build better lives. Years later, they arrive as slavers and tithers, demanding tithing, demanding sacrifice, demanding things
So
be
is
given
this
to them.
the Queen of Beleriand?
Queen of Beleriand? Beleriand is under the waves and does not exist.
Yet.
And Beleriand
Okay.
never had a queen.
Okay.
You need to read the Silmarillion. Man.
No, that's what you're here for. Hey, people.
I love you, man.
I appreciate.
I love you, man. I love this guy.
People
But-
in the chat room are giving us the information. Elros sired 4 children.
Vardamir, Tindomiel, Manwendil, and Atanalkar, which is definitely... They were switching from Elvish to Númenórean.
Yes.
They were totally switching their names to Númenórean names, and
There
they
you
got
go.
rather ego-driven about that. They really did.
So there's a lot of young actors in this show already.
Then I'm wrong. Okay, Andrew Laubacher, thank you for correcting me. The change of the world is what destroys Númenor. It didn't happen at the War of Wrath. It happened later on when the Númenóreans break the ban of the Valar. Thank you for checking my head at the door.
Boy.
Thank you,
But
Andrew.
we're gonna allow whatever the writers come up with. We're gonna allow.
Wait a minute. Númenóreans weren't black?
Hang on.
Wait a minute. Maybe
on.
Númenóreans were of a different cultural, ethnic background of some kind?
Now let's go back to the tape. This is an Iranian actress, and we know for a fact that Tolkien based the story of the Númenóreans on Eastern Mediterranean character archetypes. And if you've ever been to Eastern Mediterranean, the Turkish people, Greece, Atlantis, it's based on Atlantis. So if we look at Sophia and then we look at Nazanin here, these are both Númenórean
Mediterranean types.
Mediterranean
very
types.
Much so.
These
very
are
much Númenor, where things were getting really, really shitty. Where blood sacrifices were happening on Meneltarma. Yeah, Anatara having influenced everyone to the point of disobeying the rules that the Valar set down. Blood sacrifices and human hearts, like the Aztecs, or the Mayans rather, like the Mayans, stabbing human sacrifices on top of the mountaintop and letting the blood roll down the mountainside. That's what happened in late stage Númenor. It was horrifying what happened. Yep, eating some monkey brains out of the skull, just like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
I appreciate you guys staying with the show as we drop connection and then we bring it back. Cliff, the next person we have on the show, Dylan Smith. Now that is a chiseled face if I've ever seen one. He's recently been seen Into the Badlands on AMC.
That's a great show.
I Am
That's
the
a great
Night.
show.
I Am the Night is a show that just came out this last year. I think it was a limited series. He's a Los Angeles-based actor, so this is as American as you can get.
Yep.
That is definitely an orc.
He's
an orc.
He's going to be
No?
a warrior or of some race. We don't know, but he's probably going to be that
Mordor?
tank. He's just going to be a tank character.
Mordor?
Yes.
Okay, it doesn't exist yet.
No, there is no Mordor in the Second Age.
Should he be
Well,
a prosthetic actor?
There is a Mordor, but it depends. Literally, 10th time I'm saying this. If they begin the story at point X versus point Y in the Second Age, then maybe Mordor has actually started to be settled by Sauron's interests.
Who is Hampson? Someone in the chat room says Dylan Smith, probably playing Hampson.
Don't know
Hampson
who is
character.
what is
that
a
must be one
Hampson?
of the code words that people have been using in the leaked scripts.
Okay, potential casting out loud. Okay, well, the potential casting is blank. Yes, our lower third is covering where the answer would be.
Oh, they think there's something under there.
There's nothing under there.
There's nothing under there.
There's
We
just,
promise.
Oh, hey, check it out. Anka Moon says Elendil, maybe. This guy might possibly be Elendil.
Like the
Maybe.
star of Elendil.
Yeah, he's Elendil the Mariner.
So his tears light Galadriel's water.
No, that could be Erindil. Erindil, not Elendil. They're two different people.
Wait, hold on.
Two different people.
Back up for us for novices here. Erindil and Elendil.
Are two different characters. Yes.
One has an R, one has an L.
Uh-huh.
Which one are you saying this guy is?
The people in the chat think he's Elendil.
Elendil.
Yes.
And the father of Isildur,
Yep.
who
Maybe it's
slayed Sauron at the end of the Second Age.
That's right.
Isildur does.
That's right.
Elendil would be the one who would be taking the ships across the sea.
Yeah.
Elendil takes the ships across what sea?
Well, when Numenor sinks, they have to go someplace.
So this is a guy that helps the escape from Numenor as it's singing.
Which means if that is a case, we're in the.
Andrew says the Halidin differed from. Hold on, let me read that. The Halidin differed from other Edain, and I believe they also had ties to the Druidin.
Well,
Arendelle, you mean? Arendelle?
Arendelle is one of the most important characters. He's half elf, half man. And he goes to the Valar and begs them, please, some of us are faithful to you, the Valar. We're not all corrupted by Anatar, Sauron. And he pleads the case, and because Arendelle shows his stuff, shows his quality, the Valar allow him and the faithful to make their own ships to escape the impending doom that destroys the islands of Numenor.
This is a very biblical character, then.
Absolutely.
Arendelle?
Yeah, Arendelle.
And
but
so,
he also,
does this guy look biblical?
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, absolutely.
He
could be.
He dresses
flying
biblical.
in the sky with his boat.
Yes. Okay, next
Yes.
up we have Charlie Vickers, who was in a show about the Medici family a couple years ago called Medici. It's a UK show. I think it's a BBC. Medici. I'm saying it wrong. Medici are it's a very powerful family, and I probably should not say their name wrong because they probably still have deep connections around the world.
Going back one last thing about who Arendelle was. He was the father of Elrond and Elros.
This guy's the father of Elrond?
And Elros. Yeah, that's who Arendelle is. Yes. Yeah, that's right. And the two boys had to choose their fate.
So you're
because
saying
their father was half man, half elf. Elrond and Elros had to choose the fate of the elves or the doom of men.
So is this guy the father of this guy?
Could be. Yes.
I see it.
Yep.
I see it.
Possibly. Could be. I don't know. Maybe.
So if we've got a young Elrond, if this is young
Yes.
Elrond and he's the main actor and the main lead of the show, it's a young Elrond finding his way in the world, and his daddy.
Yes.
This is his daddy.
Oh yeah, maybe. All right, let's go ahead to Charlie.
I see it.
Let's go back up to hello, Mr. Dylan Smith, but Mr. Charlie Vickers. People in the chat say that Charlie looks like he could be a Northman or an elf. He might possibly be Celeborn. Consider this.
Celeborn?
What if Charlie Vickers, this guy right here, is Galadriel's boyfriend/husband?
I'll buy that for $1. Yep.
Okay, that's quite cool.
I agree with this. I'm with that. So this is Galadriel's future beau.
The guy was played by Martin Sokas in The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. This is Celeborn played
a younger
the role of Martin Sokas.
Okay, this is why I think that this show is based in Peter Jackson's cinematic universe. Galadriel looks like Galadriel. Full stop.
Yeah.
This guy looks like young Martin Sokas. So
kind of, yeah.
There is a direct visual correlation between. It doesn't matter what the elves. It's a 2,000-year space, time and space. So this is the young version of those elves.
You got to watch out. That young lady who's going to play younger quote unquote Galadriel.
Yeah.
She's very short. She's not 5'10", 5'11" like Cate Blanchett. She's a tiny little peanut.
Well, cameras can do magic.
She's a tiny little peanut. So,
Morfydd Clark looks like Galadriel.
Morfydd Clark looks like Galadriel, but in every scene, they're going to have to either make her stand on an apple box, or they're going to use some trick of forced perspective to make her look like Galadriel. But look at how tall Galadriel is to Gandalf in The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey.
Yeah, but it's fine. If this guy's short too, then it all works out. So Celeborn So no, we're saying this is the young Martin Sokus.
Might be.
And,
Might be.
So this goes back to the conversation of like, is this based in the cinematic world that Peter Jackson established? And these two castings confirm that to me, that these younger versions of those older actors is she looks like Kate Blanchett. Period.
Yeah, she does.
Full
She does.
stop. Which means she's gonna be an elf. Like,
Oh God.
it's
Oh God, that's funny.
so I'm saying
That's funny.
the big debate on the internet is that is this show based in the same cinematic universe? And based on the casting, I think the answer is yes. Based on the contracts that were signed, the answer is yes. Based on the licenses that Jeff Bezos paid for, the answer is yes. The intention is to play in that world.
Yes. Oscar in the YouTube chat says, I don't know, but it is still strange to me that they spend that much on a competing Middle-earth universe of a successful multi-million-dollar franchise. Doesn't feel like the right business move. Well, I'm not sure that it's going to be competing.
It's not competing. It's
not
playing in the
necessarily
same
competing,
world.
but they want to attract all of us,
Yes.
this fan audience, who had been attracted to the 6 films and to all the beautiful, beautiful books that we've been reading since we were children, except this guy. And I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that I do find it compelling that their silence with us and sharing their ideas, sharing the scope of their world, they've been so silent, except drip like a coffee drip. Little percolating bits of information keep coming to us like today, but we don't know yet for sure if their second age of Middle-earth is supposed to be the beginning or end of that era. And if they do go towards the end of the second age, then you have a much, much more clear road where other tethers, other threads of narrative from the familiar, including hobbits and wizards who do not exist in the second age at all, those things that are more valuable to the fandom, they might be drawn into the story. So maybe it is appropriate for them to focus on the late second age. And that's when all the shit was falling apart.
And for a business
Falling
reason,
apart, big time.
expanding the film legendarium is better than competing with it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Everybody wants
Yep,
the
fair enough.
MCU TV show to tie into the movies. That's all anyone's asked for. And if they didn't do that, people would just be frustrated.
It makes the most sense to forge the rings, to have Anatar in full-blown.
And there's so many characters that Anatar can be performed by, Sauron can be performed by. The next person, Cliff,
Hold
you saw,
on. Did I hit the wrong button?
you saw chat.
It says, okay, hold on. Who is this person? It was right up here. Can you go up? It was below that. Here you go. Hold on, not too far. This is it. Santino. Santino on the Facebook chat says, why would it be based on Peter Jackson's universe if it will be based on the second age? I don't think that is the correct way to see it. Well, what we're looking at is a lot of money and a lot of high risk. What they want is something unique that is their own Amazon series, but they also want it to be familiar so they can park the car next to the other 6 cars that are already in the parking lot. And that's Hobbit 1, 2, 3 and Lord of the Rings 1, 2, 3. There's 6 cars there. And they want 5 more cars to be parked in this mega Middle-earth parking lot, which supports the money that they spent
Right.
to license New Line
From a
Cinema's
business
previous
perspective,
film
they
footage.
want it to be a continuation of the same world. So back to the casting, Amazon has announced 15 actors for the new Lord of the Rings TV series. Confirmed actors, the contracts are signed, the lenses will be set up, and film will start rolling pretty soon. The next person that we have on the cast is Megan Richards.
Hello, Megan.
She's a teen actress in the UK. She can currently be seen in a TV show called Wanderlust. I've seen a few episodes of this. It's a really fun show.
Is it? I
It's a
haven't seen it.
really fun show.
I haven't seen
you know, it's a high schooler show. You know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I've wanted all along. So here's another UK actress joining the Welsh, the Iranians, the Australians, and the Americans in the Lord of the Rings show. Megan Richards. Did they wear glasses in Middle Earth? No.
I have never
Good question.
seen any except Bilbo. Bilbo is mentioned actually having spectacles when he's riding in the Red Book.
So did the Second Age,
The Red Book.
the men of Numenor?
Yeah.
Did the folks of
That's
Numenor
right.
have reading glasses? Were they a cultured society?
But nobody else in Middle Earth has any reading glasses except, obviously Professor Tolkien injecting himself onto Bilbo as a personality type.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
as
next
you say.
person we have is Daniel Wayman. He's currently can be seen in Treadstone, which is a USA show.
Yeah.
And he was on a show last year called Gentleman Jack.
I've seen him in that show.
Yes.
I've seen him in
very
that.
recognizable in Gentleman Jack, and Treadstone is one of my favorite shows on TV right now.
Cool.
It's based on the Bourne Identity, the Jason Bourne series.
To answer Frederick Gabrielson in the Facebook chat,
Yes.
it will not be based on the Akalabeth because they did not license the
Nope.
Akalabeth from the Silmarillion.
They did not.
They licensed the content from the appendices in the back of the Return of the King, and they also potentially have licensed some material from Unfinished Tales if the deal with the Tolkien estate says, yes, you can use that material.
Cliff, is this Tar Palantir's daughter the last queen of Numenor?
Could be. Could be.
And is that who the Palantirs are named after?
Oh, no. No.
What is the history of the Seeing Stones, and why are they called Palantirs?
Hopefully we'll learn more about the history of the Seeing Stones, because that's the kind of stuff people really, really, really want to see. Oh, wait, go back to Daniel. Everyone says Daniel totally looks like Gil-galad.
Gil-galad?
We have not mentioned the elf lord Gil-galad.
Who's Gil-galad? That sounds like a place, not a person.
Gil-galad is one of the most powerful and important elven lords on the larger stage of Tolkien's legends. You see him in the opening battle in the last alliance of elves and men. You see him in Fellowship of the Ring, very briefly.
Does he
fight a Balrog? I wonder.
Does Gil-galad
No.
teach Elrond how to fight?
Maybe.
Because if this is Gil-galad and the other actor's playing Elrond's father, and Elrond is a 23-year-old coming-of-age elf lord, there's some interesting dynamics now at play. Everyone in the chat room...
Gil-galad was the High King of the elves of the West.
The chat room loves your idea of this guy playing Gil-galad.
Yeah. Also great nephew of Galadriel. That's
the
true.
last true king of the Noldor.
Yep,
he
the
does
last
look
true
like
king
a
of the
king.
Noldor.
He's got the right age. Now there are many photos online of these actors, but they're from like 5 years ago, and like all the other photos are pretty young compared to how he looks right now. And this is true with all the actors.
Well, he